6.75. So Margaret Hewlett will now face Brandy Johnson in the next rotation, in the next session. You'll have to watch for that in your listings for which show that will be. Kyle Asano against Jorge Garcia. This is not over. After leading through 5 rotations, Jorge Garcia only received an 8.15 on his 5th apparatus. Now he goes into his 6th and final event with a 0.3 deficit. So Jorge Garcia has got to hit on the high bar if he's to defeat Kyle Asano.
He said yesterday when we were talking to him that the high bar is his favorite event. He's more confident there, and it's very exciting for him. So he's going to need a good performance here today. Pirouette over the top. One-arm giant swing to a release move. Good work. Oh, a little trouble on the kip cast. He's a little sloppy. You can see he has good swing elements, but he doesn't quite yet have the polish. He'll get that as he gets a little older and a little more confident in competition. Triple back. Good dismount.
Well, he's dropped the gauntlet for Kyle Asano. Again, he trails by 0.3.
This release move is really interesting because he does a one-arm turns backward and then does a front with a full and makes a good regrasp without breaking form. And that's a very complicated move out of a one-arm giant swing. Good speed here for the dismount. Really, he makes this very easily. Look at him crank those knees apart. That really increases your rotation. Let's look one more time. You can see he's good and high. He's really pulling. No problem on the triple back. He's going to be a fine young gymnast because he can do a lot of big tricks. When he polishes up his exercises a little bit, he's going to go places.
The number he received is 9.10. So Kyle Asano, who has a 0.3 edge, really needs an 8.8 to tie. Anything above that would give him the win.
Back upright, stalled her. There's a reverse X. Oh, wow. He was way out there on his fingertips.
I didn't think he was going to catch that.
He's just a little cleaner than Jorge was here. He's doing similar level of difficulty. Just a little more polish. Good thing he hung on that reverse X and a really high, clean layout double back. That should do it for him.
Kyle Asano with a fine performance on the horizontal bars.
Stick around for a few minutes. We will give you the bracket leaders.
The reverse hex, he really has good position here. He cranks it across the bar. He's just about as far out as you'll want to be, way out there on the end of his fingertips, which is very impressive, but it's also pretty hairy out there. Very high layout, double back, a little sloppy in the air, but of course, we have the advantage of seeing it in slow motion where we can pick out those minor form breaks. It's very difficult to see those when you're moving that fast, but boy, he is up there in a really pretty position as he arches out the second flip. Good job for Kyle Asano.
And that should easily net him a score higher than 8.8. That would probably be the good news. The bad news is he's going to have to face Lance Ringnold in the next session. Lance Ringnold, of course, one of the premier gymnasts. Again, you'll have to watch your cable listings to see who advances and what night they'll be on. Kyle Asano, 9.2. He's our winner. We'll be back with the when the rotation switched to parallel bars and high bar. Kyle Asano took over and won. Asano over Garcia, 53-4 to 53-0. On the women's side, Margaret Hewlett all the way over Carol Ulrich, 38.25 to 36.675. And right now, Bart Connors with our winners.
Well, good opening rounds for both Kyle and Margaret. You had a good start right on the vault. Started out with a 9.8. That had to feel good.
Yes, it did, and it was one of my high scores on vault.
What do you feel about being in with the big girls now? I know you're on the junior team, but this is the big leagues. How do you like that?
I think it's a good advantage for me to go up against them now, so in the future I'll be ready.
Speaking of the big leagues, you draw next Brandy Johnson. That's going to be tough.
Yes. I'll just have to concentrate on what I'm doing and go for it all, and don't hold back.
Well, lots of luck to you.
Thank you.
And Kyle, you had a good opening round. You got to go against Lance Ringnold next round. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel nervous about that, and it's just a good challenge for me.
When you look back at your performance today, what was the best aspect in your mind?
Probably just hitting and just like being relaxed.